next part of lesson 9, you'll be using 04 scale sequence. So go ahead and open that one. And the first thing that you want to do is play through your timeline so you can see the 3 clips you have. We have some snow, a car driving by. Also, if these start to look a little jagged, if your computer's not running quick enough, it may be laggy because some of these are very high resolution images. It seems like my computer is doing okay with them. And then our last clip is snow again. So we had a valley, desert, and then more snow. Okay, so we're going to be looking at changing clip sizes. We're going to animate the clip size through changes. And we're also going to talk about an adjustment layer. So the first thing that we want to look at is you'll want to be on this very last clip and go ahead and right click it. In here you'll see scale to frame size and set to frame size. The book is wanting us to scale to frame size. So right now this footage is very large, and when I click this, it basically put it into the window. We're working now in an HD window, 1920 by 1080. Notice when it scaled it down, you see a black bar on the top and a black bar on the bottom. And that's because the dimensions of the footage was slightly different than what we were scaling to. So it created that black space. And it's very common. We've seen it in some of our other works as well. The one thing about choosing that setting, if you look over here in effects control, our scale is still at 100%. Even though this was a much larger file, the scale did not change. It maintained the scale size. So let's go ahead and undo that. So by undoing it, you can turn this on and off just by clicking it. We now have enlarged our footage back. The scale is still 100. This time right click it and choose set to frame size. And of course we still have the black bar at the bottom and the black bar at the top. But the one difference now is if you look over here in your effects control, you'll see our scale says 31.3. So that means we can adjust this. We have the range from 31.3 up to 100 available to us. So that footage data is not lost, and we can make adjustments. The other one kind of locked us into the smaller size. If you would have chosen the other one and scaled it up, you would have lost some of your quality, even though it was originally a high resolution image. So the better way, if you're downscaling stuff to have more control over it, would be to choose the right click and set to frame size. Alright, so I believe the chapter wanted us to scale this up. Okay, so we are scaling it. Make sure the clip is highlighted, and where we were talking about the 31.3, you can drag this number over or you could type it in. The book is telling us to go to 34, which is just enough to get those black bars removed. So we now have footage that looks nice in our window with no black bars on it. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to try that same process again on this desert clip. So move over to the valley one. You're going to right click it. You're going to choose set to frame size. And then we want to be at the beginning of the clip. And by doing the set to frame size, we maintained our extra resolution. So it's 33.3. You want to go ahead and turn on your animation stopwatch. So that put us a keyframe at the very beginning. The book is then telling us to go to, I believe it's the end of the clip, which is at the beginning was 5 seconds. And then it's going to take us to the end of the clip here. So I'm on the last frame of the clip, and you can go ahead and click this undo button, and it set a second keyframe to put the footage back to 100. So when we play this clip here, you'll see it's scaling up as it's zooming in. One of the other things that we haven't really talked about with keyframes is if you are on the selected keyframe. See how it's lit up right now? It's blue. If I move one frame off, it turns back to white, meaning there's no keyframe there. However, when it's blue, that is a keyframe that's engaged. You can change it. So the book wants us to put our end frame at 0, and then our beginning frame, it wanted us to, oh, I'm sorry. So our end frame is going to be 33.3, so we were mimicking the beginning of the clip, and then we move to the beginning of the clip, and we're going to put 100 here, and then we play it again, and you can see that we reverse the animation. So we start out at 100%, and as we're zooming out as we're moving forward with that. And then of course the book loves to do this. It's basically telling us to undo all of that. So Control Z is our friend, and we're going to make sure that our end clip, I'll have to go back 3. All right, so our end frame is 100 and our beginning frame is 33.3. So that's where those settings need to be, but at least you can see when you are on the engaged keyframe, you can make changes here. So you don't always have to reset everything and start from scratch. You can make your adjustments on the fly if needed. The one last thing that this chapter or this timeline is talking about in this section, it may actually continue with more, but the one thing I'm going to include in this video yet is the adjustment layer. So you see this pink layer here, and we will get into these further along into the book. Go ahead and turn this on. Notice when I clicked it on, our footage got brighter. That's because this adjustment layer is holding a brightness and contrast adjustment. So when I click on this and bring it up over here, you can see our brightness and contrast. Brightness is at 15 and contrast has been bumped up to 30. And if I move around on our different footage, the snow, the desert, and more snow, this adjustment is taking place on all of the clips. It's not just affecting one specific clip. So we've used transitions and effects on our clips before down here to blend things or to make other adjustments. This here is a layer dedicated solely to an adjustment, and it's affecting anything that's below it. So it's like stacking a sandwich. Whatever is on top and you're looking down at it, that's what you're seeing. So as you look down further and you take that top sandwich lid off, you see all your clips. So that is affecting all 3 of these clips here. Hopefully that's a good way to think about it. Adjustment layers can be turned on and off. So if you're trying to create a specific look or change your color slightly and you want to see how the whole scene looks, this might be a faster way to put it onto an adjustment layer.